So that brings us up pretty close to 20,000, which is amazing.
Yeah, we're almost there. I told you. I told you we could do it, Rob.
Sorry I ever doubted you.
And okay, so we're ready to announce our new player right now, and a lot of people already know to some extent who he is, and it's partly just for the way that we do things at Root, and it's, you know, to some extent kind of easy to tell when we're looking into someone, because we look into people based on how they fit into the team and practice that we do with them. So it's hard to hide when we recruit someone like this. Like even when we recruited Succeed, it was like, you know, like some people already knew, even though like just because we played with them and whatnot. And our new player used to be a scumbag, but he never really was. That's just, I feel, how he acted, and he's been cleaning his act for a while now. And I think he's made amends with a lot of people, and that was kind of one of the things that we really asked of him, to even consider him. We never said, you know, if you become a better person, you'll join Root, but we talked a lot. He's a really good friend of mine now, and has been for a few months, and we think that he's incredibly skilled, possibly one of the best North American players. And yeah, he is a Zerg player, goes by the name of Kane. So, hi.
Yay!
How's it going, cats?
Going good, how are you?
I'm refreshing Reddit. I want to see who makes the post. I'm refreshing. Who's gonna make the one that's gonna get uploaded to the stars? Dude, you already made it? Dude, that's cheating, man. You can't steal that karma.
So, yeah. Alright, let's maybe take some questions from the chat. If Rob, you want to read them, because I can't. Since I have the Skype window or whatever running. And then we'll answer some questions about Kane joining. Anything you want to ask about it, it's fine to ask, just as long as you're not a douchebag, and then we'll go into decision making and yeah, talk about the game and balance and whatnot.
Okay, so the first question is, who is Kane?
Who wants to take that? Should I just take every question?
Should Kane take it?
Should Kane take it? Who are you, Kane?
I mean, wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm the shit. What else do you need to know?
Okay, that's probably not the best.
No.
Not the best answer.
Oh, that's okay. I'll try to fix it. I'm a Canadian Zerg player. Been playing StarCraft since release, probably. I live in Manitoba. I'm a ladder hero. I haven't gone to many lands just because of school and shit, but hopefully this year I'll be able to go to a few more.
Yep, Kane is always usually on the top of the NA ladder. He is possibly the best or the second best Zerg player in North America after perhaps Scarlet. And also he qualified for IPL 6, did you? By finishing second, I think, in the North American qualifier, did you?
I ended up losing to Polks. I beat like Idra, State, and Killer, and then lost to Polks.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing. But
Yeah, I mean, Polt's like 32-0 against Zerg right now. So
no, he's absolutely ridiculous. He's so good.
yeah, he is. And yeah, Kane also had a 3-kill against FXO Korea in the qualifiers for the Team Story Cup, and had us root down to one person. I think that was Yu-Gi-Oh, and
Yeah,
he almost had Yu-Gi-Oh as well, but he took down Sage and a few of us to almost make Pulse qualify to the Team Story Cup, and basically just by himself. Hello Kitty helped here and there, but that was quite impressive. Again, had FXO Korea even down to just 2 people. So yeah, we're really happy to have him. I think he's absolutely one of the best North American players, and he plans to come to the house and stay for months at a time as well. So we're looking forward to that. I also want to give a big shout out to Pulse, because they basically let him go. They didn't, they didn't try to sell his contract to us or anything like that. They were very understanding, and we can really respect that. They know that that was the right move for Kane's career, and so big shout out to them. Do you know their website, Sam?
Not off the top of my head here. I'll find it really quick though. I probably
It's
should know
actually
it.
down right now. I was
Oh,
talking
yeah.
to them. They are going to have a giant Kane replay pack that they post over the next couple days, or the next few days, and we'll link to that on our website so everybody can go check it out and thank them for letting Kane come over and join us.
Yeah, really thank them. Like when we first approached them, they were like they told Kane like like stay for a few months and if your decision doesn't change, we'll let you go. But then like Kane asked again, and they were like really understanding. And yeah, most teams will put up barriers and that sort of shit. Like stealing minigun back was a lot a long process. So and complexity is fucking awesome too. But yeah, shout out to Pulse for that.
Kane, will you do a karaoke party with cats to celebrate?
Oh, I already did that today. Sorry. Not with cats, just by myself.
Okay.
Pussy.
Somebody earlier asked, how could you call him the #1 NA player if he doesn't go to LANs? Which is a fair question.
I didn't call him the #1 NA player, but
Well,
he's
A
usually he's usually on the top of the ladder. He can beat anyone, compete with anyone at the highest level. I mean, I don't think it's unfair to say Minigun's one of the best players in North America, even though his performance in LANs is pretty bad. For nerve issues and whatnot. I think that LANs are more of a thing of experience, so I wouldn't expect Kane to do good at his first LAN, but I think the skill that you show in game translates to LAN. Like eventually, no matter what.
What do you study?
I'm a major in math and minor in philosophy, so kind of a weird combo, but it's pretty cool to study that stuff.
What year are you in college or university?
I'm doing my 3rd year of undergrad. I'm doing one more year and then I'm done.
Cool. So how are you balancing school and StarCraft?
Well, like school is still kind of a priority right now, which is why I'm not able to go to many LANs, and sometimes I have periods where I'm not streaming very much. But whenever I find spare time, I always just try to play some StarCraft, get in a few ladder games here and there. Maybe throw up the stream if I'm in the mood,
Is there a big community of StarCraft players where you go to school, or do you meet a lot of people who are
Nobody.
familiar with?
There's
No?
Manitoba in general has like a really, really small StarCraft community compared to Ontario or BC, so you really don't see any StarCraft players.
Manitoba sounds like a manatee.
It's pretty province. I don't like it very much.
What made you get into StarCraft? Did you play any games before that, or?
I played Diablo before that and like some WoW and stuff, but never any RTS.
So did you play Brood War, or just
No,
StarCraft 2?
to be honest, I'd never even heard of Brood War. My friend recommended StarCraft 2, and I was like, what the heck is that? So I ended up trying it out, and I really, really liked it, and never stopped, really.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
How long ago did you guys decide you wanted Kane on the team?
I wanted Kane on the team for months now, but like as many people know, Root is a very family type oriented team. So there was a lot of people that had their reservations with Kane because he had this reputation of bad manner and for a long time. And we talked a lot about it, me and Kane, and he was like, I know I have that reputation and I want to change it. Like that's not really who I am, and I think you even at one point admitted to like, trying to get attention. It wasn't the right way to do it, and so he was like, how can I do it? Because when Combat X did his video, like no one believed him, and it didn't work. So he suggested that he should start reaching out to players individually and just like apologizing for whatever bad manner he was in the past, and then kind of take it from there on a more individual basis. So I think he started doing that, and a lot of people, without me asking or Kane telling them to do that, like more than one person. Like for example, Chad. One day he goes on the root chat and he's like, "What the fuck? Kane just apologized to me. Like he's actually a really nice guy." And like talked to him, I was like, "Oh well, that's fucking awesome. Like he's actually doing what he said he would do. And he wasn't doing it, to please me or join root or anything like that." The same way, like people like Sasquatch from Complexity, like messaged me. They were like, "Well, Kane's actually like being nice and whatnot," and apologized to me if that means anything to you. So just like we could see that he was trying to change his attitude and whatnot, and that was really important for us. But then still, some people in the team had reservations about him. So we talked about Kane a lot because obviously he's the right fit for us in terms of skill, in terms of dedication. So we made it so that these players would have a chance to speak up and a chance to get to know Kane. So he's been in the root chat for over 2 or 3 weeks, maybe more. And yeah, after that, I think no one has any doubts that he belongs here.
What do you think Kane brings to the team specifically?
I think he's a strong enough player that he can be on our main lineup, which is one of the bigger reservations that we've been having with adding more players right now, since we're so saturated with players. We have something like a list of 15 players, even though like 3 or 4 are sort of inactive. But it's a pretty long list of players, and that's why we want to possibly start the academy eventually, and kind of like give a chance for up-and-coming players to join the team. But what Kane brings to the table is, he can actually be on our main lineup, and I'm sure he will be a part of our main lineup in probably most clan wars. So he's really solid player overall, and like I said, one of the best players in North America. I think he can beat anyone, and in terms of play, that's what he brings. In terms of personality and whatnot, he's a really cool guy, and I don't know, we get along really, really well. He's kind of a pussy at times.
Fuck you.
Kane, how would you describe your gameplay? Are you a macro player? Do you have like really creative builds? What's your style?
I try to, like, in Wings, I was kind of forced to be a patch Zerg, like every Zerg was, so I kind of got like a lot of passive play from that, and it kind of carried over to HOTS. But recently I've been trying like more aggressive builds and just really trying to focus on APM, like spreading creep and good mechanics and stuff like that, which has been working out. So I've been trying to transition into a little bit more aggressive with still some of that passive play mixed in there, which I think it's really good to mix up your play like that too.
Yeah, Kane's pretty much as standard as they make him in the Zerg realm, but he's trying to mix it up. So, like he's pretty open to hearing strategy and talking it. So that's good, and that's something that has always interested me. But in that same sense, he's a player that's really solid and is really gonna be able to provide us with solid standard practice for everyone in Root as well. Like it's hard to find people, especially on the NA server, that will play straight up and do it fucking well and don't have like a lot of holes in their play, which is kind of like how Koreans have always done it. Like in the Korea server, there's a metagame, and that's pretty much what everyone does. I mean, there's exceptions obviously, but for the most part, it's just like this is what you do, and this is like you respond to it with whatever the counter equal mechanical thing to do is, even if it is just a Ling Bailing bust, that could be the metagame, but like Koreans always try to get from point A to point B as fast as possible, where North Americans and Europeans in general are more more tricky and play around more with things, I feel like, and I think Kane's a really good practice partner because for that reason.
How does adding Kane to the team affect this upcoming tournaments? Like, what are the major events coming up for Root?
I mean, we're in the ATC, the Team Story Cup. So I'm sure, like I said, he'll be in most lineups for for clan wars and whatnot. Obviously, we have a very deep roster, and it doesn't mean that he'll always be there. He'll be a part of the team rankings and all that stuff, so that will help decide as well. But I think that he's one of the people that might have one of the stronger chances to qualify for WCS NA. If any North Americans can do it, it might just be Kane. We have a lot of strong players, but like people like players like myself and Puck. Like Puck can beat anyone, but that doesn't like Puck's not very consistent at times, or all the matchups aren't like consistent, or PvP might be a weakness here and there. So as much as we could use Puck as a Zerg sniper, for Puck to qualify to WCSNA, I feel like we'll need a little bit of luck in the draw, and for anyone else. But I think Kane's one of the more solid players that could do that.
Okay, it looks like that's all the questions. Is it gonna mess anything up if I leave the call? Should I just mute and listen?
Yeah, stay.
Okay, I'll just mute. You guys have fun.
Okay. Theo, you wanna add anything?
Yeah. I've actually known of Kane for a while. Last year WCS, there were a lot of Zergs in North America, and I guess like before I went there, I really wanted to get my TVZ to be the best, so I practiced a few days before with Kane, probably like a few hours each day, and it really helped a lot. And I knew he was really strong back then as well, so I'm very glad that he's on the team now.
Fitzy, Puck.
You make me blush, man.
Fitzy or Puck, you want to say anything?
Well, my ZVZ's never been the best, so when we have done the ZVZs, it's not typically ended well for me. But back, I guess he kind of when it was the metagame was mass roach, and then when you try to go through infestors, like I realized that they're actually like you either have to keep massing roaches, and you really have to keep tabs on your opponent. In fact, this was in Wings of Liberty, of course. You never see those in now, but and so yeah, I mean he's a really solid player, and I think he's definitely toned down his BM a little bit, but yeah, overall, really solid player.
I just want to say, I still think he's like 16.
You jerk.
Yeah, you do look young. Okay. So we can move on to decision making now, I guess.
Is that my cue?
That's your cue.
Alright. So I think before we get too far along, we should kind of introduce ourselves to whoever's, like, because I know there's some webcams on the screen, there's some webcams not on the screen, so obviously some people might be unknown to people watching. So why don't we go through and I'll just start introducing people and welcome y'all. Of course, Diognus, Terran player. A lot of people know this guy because he's on State of the Game a lot. One of the up and coming North American players looking to smash some faces in the North American WCS, which he's qualified for the Premier League. Congrats to him. Diognus, welcome. Why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself, for those who don't know?
Thank you. Yeah, I've been around for a while. I came back for StarCraft 2, and I've been playing pretty much ever since then. I was a little bit on and off for like the first year and a half or so. I was still finishing up college, but I've been taking a lot more serious in the past year. And, I've been playing pretty decently since Harder Swarm, so hopefully I can do something in WCS this year.
Good.
Diognus is also Diognus also has the ghettoest phrases of all times. And that's one of the reasons I love him so much.
Diognus is like the person that knows nothing about computers but can play StarCraft 2.
Me too, actually.
That's
I can do that.
Isn't that like most video gamers?
Yeah, I think
like
that's me.
his computer.
I don't know jack shit about it.
Yeah.
He could have played for like a month because he didn't know how to connect his motherboard to something. It's crazy.
And I was too broke to take it to like a computer shop. They like rip you off. So I don't know. I was just trying to Google every problem on my iPhone. It was hardcore.
Many a phone call where like back when we were on Quantic, the Ognus would be like, he'd be taking pictures of what was in front of him so we could try to help him. It's crazy, but it's good to see everything working right now at the Ognus. Of course, we also have Cats. Doesn't need any introduction. Cats, welcome.
Thank you.
Puck, I don't think his webcam is up. Protoss player or Root Gaming. Puck, how's it going? I think he's playing a game.
Oh,
right?
what? Hi, what's
Yeah.
up?
Are you playing a game right now?
No? Why would I be doing that?
You are. Are you
I only
winning?
play like 2,000 games a season.
What's the matchup?
2 vs 2 at the fan.
Alright, fuck, that's
So I'm
awesome.
such a nice person.
We have Fitzy, who also, I don't think he has a webcam. Fitzy has been on Root for, he's one of the newer members, I think, but he's been on Root for a little bit. One of the more creative players. So if you're talking about,
Queens.
right, exactly.
You want to talk about Queens, so you know where to go.
Yeah,
the
let's
character
not.
guys.
Don't start talking about Queens because he won't stop. Please. I've had a horrible experience with him. I've roomed with him for like 2 events, and you bring up Queens, and he doesn't shut up for like an hour about Queens.
Hey, you just got to talk about every strategy, you know?
I was at a LAN in Minnesota, and I had my friend with me, and I said I had to go, but Fitzy wouldn't stop talking. Like, he didn't know how to end the conversation. So I ended up staying there for like an extra 20 minutes because he had to talk about Queens.
Which land was this? What?
The Midwest Meltdown.
Oh, gosh.
Remember Krista?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't stop talking to her about Queens.
Well, she seemed genuinely interested. Maybe I was generally interested in talking to her, so, I mean, why were you trying to rush me?
Because there's a point where
Hard
talking
talking,
about
man.
Queens just gets boring. I'm sorry.
I'll agree with that.
I forgot that was our first meeting. That's right.
It was.
Of course, Fitzy, one of the more creative players on Root, I think. If you're talking to him about strategy, he's always going to have something crazy to say, I think. I think
Okay.
that's safe to say.
No, we'll talk about it later. I got.
All right, we'll
six-
talk about it later. You guys will see. Of course, we also Kane is going to be the last guy on the show. Recently announced member of Root. I see. Honestly, I'm looking at Reddit. I think there's like literally 2 threads at the top 2 right now that are about Kane. So that's pretty awesome. 2 of the top 4. Kane, welcome. Of course, we just had a nice little interview there. So let's go ahead and move on into decision making. Of course, decision making is a show where we just talk about stuff. We talk about StarCraft 2 mostly, and sometimes the scene surrounding it. So to start things off, I kind of want to talk about the metagame, right? All the matchups. I'm not sure what I want to start with necessarily. I guess I'll leave that up to y'all as far as, are there any matchups in particular you're really eager to talk about, you know, what your thoughts are on it? And I realize most of you are playing in WCS NA qualifiers tomorrow, so you don't necessarily want to reveal strategies. So I don't know if that's going to affect this conversation.
It should be fine. I don't think anyone can prepare for the qualifiers. Like it's a bracket. It's not, you know, you don't know who your
Is it-
opponent is. So
Is that tomorrow?
yeah. What time is it at?
Check-in is at like 10:30 a.m.
AM?
So it's at-
So
it's
early.
one-
Check-in is 10:30. I think it starts at like 1 or noon Eastern.
Okay.
And I will be casting that live. So
Well, I really want to talk about the most diverse matchup, which is definitely Zerg for Zerg.
is that a joke?
Really?
That's a joke. It's a joke.
I'm pretty sure that'd be
First-
easy.
I think for Fitzy, every matchup is diverse. Is that safe to say?
But Fitzy only makes Queens, so how is it diverse?
No,
There's-
Zerg for Zerg. It's so
That's
frustrating.
interesting. So you incorporate a lot of queens in your play. Obviously, the meta is the big thing in ZVZ. Have you found any queen play that's working for you, or any builds that you found that kind of shut that stuff down?
To be completely honest, not really, because what happens, like, it could work in Wings of Liberty, because whatever, Queens have an okay anti-air, or, you know, they're decent anti-air, but they don't do enough DPS since the Utah region now. And, I mean, it's whatever. It's not overwhelming amount, but I don't know. Queens, since you have to use the spore crawlers, but a lot of transitions. I've been trying to do transitions wise of like making 10 mutas while taking the third or whatever, and starting out normal, but you still have to go mutas, and then trying to kind of transition really quickly, because if you transition too late, then they have the upgrades and you can't get out of the muta, and you have to stick with it. But I think there's definitely, it's going to get figured out where you can like go muta, or start with mutas, kind of maintain map presence, not necessarily map control, but at least keep them at bay so they're not just like choking you out. And then starting to try to transition using a couple spores, get the infestation pit, get a couple queens to keep them at bay, and then whatever. If you try to invest in hydras, they can just roll you with banelings and do this.
Literally, right?
Yeah, I find Hydras are a terrible transition against Muta because of banelings. Because if you're going Hydras, you're not going Infestors. So the only transition I found is like if you're going into Muta play, because you have the option to kind of like apply a lot of pressure and kind of end the game or shift the game like to in your favor before Mutas come out. Upgraded links like +1 Carapace or even 1/1 links are pretty popular in the metagame, because you know, like if you have that, you can deny the third and whatnot, and then maybe even kill your opponent before Muta. So you can take that approach, and I think if you take that route, there's a chance that you can maybe find a build that denies the third, then keeps your third safe for long enough for you to transition maybe into Roach, Hydra, or even Muta if you're on with the 2 extra gases. And I think that's definitely possible. I agree with Fitzy that it will get figured out to a point where, because spores are really strong, right? So I think it will get figured out where you can go for delayed mutas off of a much better economy kind of thing, and just be safe with, the thing to figure out is when to take your third and how to secure it against everything and that sort of shit. And then the other thing that you can do also is, like Fitzy said, if you open Muta, you can transition quickly into Infestors, and I find that burrowed Infestors are really good. It sounds gimmicky to rely on burrow, but realistically, like you open Muta, and no Zerg is going to have Overseers with their army, and even if they did, the Overseer would be behind the Muta. So burrow is always going to let your Infestors get closer to their Muta before being detected, and if you're close enough, then you can land the fungals without the mutas always identifying that there's infestors and running away or splitting. So I've won a few games like that coming from behind, but I want to find a way where I can, make a little bunch of muta and then transition fast into infestors, and I think that's going to be the best way to play. I mean, eventually when you're almost nearing max, you always want to have infestors, because one fungal is going to do more DPS than 15 muta at that point. So, yeah. But other than that, it's just Muta versus Muta.
Kane, do you have anything to add to that as far as your ZVZ adventures?
Yeah, well, of course, like it's mostly Muta versus Muta, obviously, but I've been wanting to try out the 1/1 Ling style, because I remember in Wings, it was really, really good versus Muta, because you'd always be able to deny their third while getting your own third. So I kind of want to try playing around with that, but I haven't been trying it too much lately, because if you're able to deny their third and get up like spores and eventually infestors, I think you're good to go. So you just have to focus a lot on minerals and then kind of transition over to gas for infestors. Apparently I'm too quiet, by the way.
Yeah, a little quiet. I think Puck's tapping is overwhelming a little.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You can just mute your mic when you're not talking, Puck.
Okay.
I don't know how to turn people up.
Can you turn his mic up?
I'll see if I can. No, it's. I think it's at like. How about this? Is this any better?
I can't tell.
I can't tell either.
Or this?
Okay,
This
what about
is-
now? Okay, this should be good. Okay, talk.
Okay, hi.
That's good. That's much better.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, perfect. So, as far as ZVZ, I know this might be a question that might apply to other matchups, but do you see any change that might be necessary for ZVZ? But I know both Fitzy and Katz both said that you think it'll be figured out eventually. Do you think Blizzard should be stepping in anywhere and perhaps consider some sort of change in ZVZ to any unit to, kind of prevent the muta versus muta thing? And obviously this would apply to other matchups depending on the change.
You could add maybe Hydras could do a little bit more damage against light units. Something like that might work. I'm trying to think of the other matchups. I don't think it would.
Well,
work.
yeah.
I've heard.
Sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay. No, you. No. I've heard. I've heard some suggestions like starting Hydras off with, like one of the upgrades, say the Hydra speed, and that could help a little bit. But I don't know if it'd make too much of a difference, especially in like CVP where
Yeah.
Hydras are getting a lot more popular.
Yeah, I think that would break CVP. I think the Hydra timings would be too strong.
Yeah.
Well, we can move into talking about ZVP a little bit, but Fitzy, I think you wanted to add something there.
Oh, I was just gonna talk about the doing bonus versus light. Obviously, that would mess up ZVT, but I think it would be interesting because Phoenixes, they can be. They
Well,
can
wait,
soak out
why
of
would it
control.
mess up CVT? Because Marines?
Yeah,
How many shots of a Hydra takes to kill a Marine? I mean, Hydras are shit against Marines already, so...
yeah, but it depends on exactly how much bonus damage they're doing. I think
Yep.
something that they could change in. I don't think people would be too terribly displeased with it. Is if they just made like the region down to like a half even, or just lowered the region just a little bit, because what happens is the mutas snowball so quick that if you're even like one or two mutas behind, and you have a fight where, let's say the fight happens, you both had 10 mutas, and they got like just by the luck of your A move, they survived, and you ran away with 8, but they ran away with 10, and 2 of them had 1 HP. And you go back to fight again, 30 seconds later, and they're almost at full. I mean, they're not at full HP by then, but you can constantly keep that constant pressure and zoning out. I mean, I guess it's okay because if you're behind at 10 minutes, whatever, you're going to lose anyways, but I kind of enjoy the if you can come back kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And Hydras again, like they'll come in and poke for a second because they can snipe one snipe one Hydra and then get the heck out. And sure, they took a lot of damage on one of their mutas, but they didn't lose it. So 30 seconds later, we'll be back to full HP. But
what if Hydras had a slow with their attack against light units only? I mean, if you're fighting Marines against Hydras, you're never gonna retreat, right?
yeah,
So I mean that could help. But I think the bonus versus light wouldn't make that much of a difference against Marines. I don't know how many shots it takes of a Hydra to kill Marine, but I can't imagine it would make that big of a difference. Hydras are already bad against Marines, and CVT is already it could be more diverse. I've been playing around with Roach Hydra a lot, and it's good, but it's I feel like it needs a little bit of a kick to be on par with the Terran composition. So I mean maybe that could make it a more even viable way to go Roach Hydra against Terran as well. So 2 birds with one stone kind of thing.
I think Puck is back.
Yep, hi.
What's
I'm
up?
done. I'm done with the game.
Yeah, TT1 said, "What if they just buffed Spores even more noobs? Wouldn't that affect them, or wouldn't affect the other matchups?" Yeah, but Spores are already fantastic against Muta. I mean, they 5-shot Mutas, and that's only because of Muta regen. So maybe if they added 1 more damage, they would 4-shot him. But usually, what?
That would also make ZVP pretty hard for Protoss.
Why?
Because sports are already really good against Protoss Air to begin with.
affecting the
Like
bio.
No,
Oh.
yeah, it's only light. It's only against light, the bonus.
No, it's only
Um,
against bio.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll be fine. It's only against-
Yeah, like, but usually, I mean, if there's a queen around, you will force shot the mutas with a spore. So I mean, it's already pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't think that would really change at all because pretty much what happens is, you know, you just zone out. Like you sit in between the second and the third, and if you have like the advantage, you just wait it out until you get enough mutas to like one shot the spore.
Yeah,
And so-
it's not like anyone ever attacks into spores with mutas until way later. So spores are as good as you can make them. There's no real urge to buff them. I mean if you know if spores one shot mutas, I don't think anything would change too much. It's not like you would make more spores. It's not like people would attack into them anyways.
I'd be doing spore pushes. I don't know what you'd be doing.
Yeah, spore pushes would be good. It's just
So,
an extreme example.
You know, for the Zerg players watching who are having trouble with the ZVZ and the current metagame, do y'all have any tips to give those guys as far as how to easily transition? You know, any tricks that you can do to, you know, not fall behind, kind of a thing.
Temple Baneling, you'll win half the time.
Solid advice. Solid
Yeah,
advice.
just you probably want to stick on mutas. Open up.
Is there a
mutas, stick
certain
on
time
mutas.
where you should start an upgrade here or there, something like that?
Carapace attack, right?
Carapace attack,
Or
attack
air, yeah.
Carapace, or Carapace attack, Carapace attack works. Or even
Yeah, I
Carapace
mean,
Carapace if you already have a lead. Like, +2 Carapace is better than +2 attack, just like, you know, +1 Carapace is better than +1 attack. But what you have to keep in mind when going into Muta versus Muta numbers is that the one Muta might make more of a difference than the upgrades, unless you have a ton of Mutas. So that's why you usually see people go Carapace attack, Carapace, or, you know, Carapace attack in the first place instead of Carapace. If you have the same amount of mutas that you have 1-1 against the same amount of mutas at 0-2, the 0-2 mutas will fucking wreck. But if you have one more muta, and it's, you know, anywhere in between 25 and 30 mutas that you both have, and one person has one more muta, the person with the one more muta will win regardless of who has what upgrades. It's actually pretty ridiculous. Like if you actually go to the unit tester and test muta versus muta shit, you might just get frustrated as fuck. Because if you fight 24 mutas against 25 mutas, you know, even if one person has an extra upgrade or something like that, but just in general, if you fight 24 mutas against 25 mutas, the player that has 25 mutas will have about 8 or 9 mutas left at the end of the fight. So and they will all regen. So that's how volatile and how stupid CVZ is.
Yep. I've even found, and I know there's like, you know, the glaives can bounce off Zerglings and such, but where I was like 3 mutas ahead, and I went into a fight, and, you know, I had like, it was pretty, I had pretty even muta count, pretty even ling count, and was ahead by 2 or 3 mutas, same upgrades. And what do you know? I lost by 6 mutas, and it was like, how did that calculate out? Like, what could I have microed better? Should I have tried to pull some back? Should I grab like 8 of them and try to target fire?
Well, you were fighting with lings on the bottom, like under.
Yeah, I mean, like we pretty much had the same muta and ling count.
Okay. And you had 3 more mutas and you lost.
Yes,
That makes no sense.
exactly.
Well, I don't know why you fucked something up. That's
We'd have
clear.
to see that replay. We'd have to see it.
You should not have lost. That
Correct. I don't know, but yeah, that's been my experience with muta versus muta. So even I don't know. Every time I even seems like I'm ahead, it's like, oh no, we screwed you over this time.
No, like whoever has more muta, as long as you, like, if you want to be safe about it, just make sure they're clumped up pre-engagement, and that way they will all attack as soon as possible. And make sure your reinforcing mutas are reinforcing. Like, you might have one fucking muta distracted killing an overlord and not joining your army, and that might make the difference between you winning the fight by 10 muta or losing the fight by 10 muta. It's that stupid.
Yep. Completely agree.
But whoever has the most muta in the fight will win.
So let's say eventually this muta versus muta stuff gets figured out, and we start, getting into other things. Have you all been playing with other unit compositions? Well, based on the units that exist in the game, do you see any other composition of sort starting to become the new metagame once eventually the ZVZ muta versus muta stuff gets figured out?
Ken, you want to take that? You've been quiet.
Yeah, it's probably just gonna go back to Roach Hydra Infestor. Maybe you can work Storm Host in somewhere, but there's mobility issues and stuff. And Infestors kind of are the go-to unit just because they can hold roaches in the back while the rest of your units fight. But yeah, maybe Swarm Host eventually, but either way I think it's gonna go Roach Hydra again.
Yeah, Swarm Hosts are really good.
Yeah.
Roach Hydra Infestor is still pretty good. The Roach Hydra is still really good. That's obviously, like, those compositions are all stronger than muta anything. The only problem is that it's getting there, Yeah. Mutas get you too much control and whatnot. So if you can transition into something, it will probably be something like Hydras first if you're going up against mutas. Then I like to add Infestors to deal with Banelings, or even I actually go Spores into Infestors and then add the Hydras, and then I'll have Infestors for the Banelings, which is and the mutas can beat anything else. And then you can add a small number of roaches or something like that. The usual transition against a ground-based army from muta is Ultralisks. And Ultralisks will destroy anything that has any number of roaches in it. And even Hydras to a good extent. Hydras do good against Ultras, but Ultras are still better than Hydras, especially if you mix in some Banelings or Infestors there to keep the Hydras in place. So unless you have a ridiculous arc with Hydras, you'll probably lose that fight. But I find Swarm Hosts are the counter to Ultras to a really good extent. Like, if you have Swarm Hosts and Static Defense, the Ultras just fucking die. And they're kind of slow to get there, they're all fat and clumsy, so the fucking Locusts will... you just have to be aware of where the Ultras are coming from, and the Locusts will do really good against them. And then Broodlord is also always good. The first thing that I tested in the beta with Chef was a composition of, Heart of the Swarm units against... I was like, okay, Chef, make the best army composition that you can think of. I'll make the best army composition that I can think of. And on split map, he went Broodlord Infestor, which is, the retarded composition that we see every time in the GSL finals. And I went Swarm Host, Viper, Hydra, Infestor. You can add static defense to that. But if it's a split map, I feel like you can transition easier into the composition that I did, and I actually started winning the fight slowly but surely, because you can pull in a Broodlord here and there, or like stuff like that with the Vipers, and start killing them like that. And Swarm Hosts, as long as you have enough of them, are pretty efficient in creating a stalemate against the Broodlings, so you can never really push. I mean, if you're pushing with the Broodlords, you're not pushing with anything else, because anything else on the ground is dying to the Locusts. So basically the Broodlords are forced into a stalemate with the Locusts, and then you can slowly pick their army up. So that's another option in the late game that we might start seeing against the more standard Broodlord Infestor. But this was like, I don't know, I figured this out like 5 days into the beta, so don't quote me. But
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I'm a
Of course, the biggest issue is getting there, and it seems like mutas are dominating the mid game of the matchup. But let's go ahead and move on to a different matchup here, because I want the Agnes to start talking a little bit. Of course, a little bit of puck would be nice too.
Never.
Before we get there, though, I want to name off some recent donations that we've had. Because, of course, guys, we are in the middle, or actually nearing the end of a 24-hour fundraiser for a Root Gaming House. And if you don't know what that entails, root-gaming.com has a bunch of information regarding that. Of course, any amount is definitely appreciated, and if you donate at least $10, you get a 500 you get a replay pack of at least 500 replays, Kat was telling me. And of course, you have the option to say a message, which will be said on stream. So I'm going to go through a few of those right now, and you guys can start accumulating your notes of, I guess we'll go into ZBT next, or ZVP. So So, the KLG Exodus says, shout out to Kiwikaki, greatest Protoss and main reason why I love Root. Donated $10.99. Zerzello donated $10. He says, you guys are awesome. So deserve a house. Zerg represent. Thank you for your donation. KCIWZLM donated $50. He said, I was ecstatic to hear when you guys first announced you guys were coming back. I think it's fantastic to see how far you have come, and I can't wait to see what is to come. I've learned so much from watching your stream, and for that, thank you. Thank you for your donation. Of course, we have Slutbag, who donated $33.33. He says, hey dudes. What's up, Slutbag? How you doing? Thank you for your donation. We got Ish Fuika, donated $10, and he says, money for condoms. We don't need babies in the team house. Thank you for your consideration, good sir. Of course, we have Anonymous donating $10. He says, $50 more if Minigun does Muscle Man poses on stream. Where's Chad Jones? We got to get him in here. Another Anonymous, we got $10 donation. He says, always fun to watch. Thank you for your donation. I Love Lamp says, root for root, smiley face, donated $20.
I love Lamp.
We got Ill Recovery donated $20. He says, he says, power overwhelming. Remedy 2012 donated $20. He says, y'all are really cool. Love watching you stream and want to see y'all succeed.
Did he actually type y'all, or is that you reading
Sorry?
you all? He typed y'all?
It literally says y'all.
Sick.
That's grammatically accurate. That's how people should say it around the world. Thank you. Y'all are really cool. Love watching you stream and want to see y'all succeed. I'm not donating a lot, but if something didn't work out, I feel like it was my fault. I want you to do well in Cal. Thank you for your donation, Remedy 2012, and thank you for your correct usage of grammar. Next donation was from Louis Kaniski, donated $10. It says GLHF. Thanks for the donation. Anonymous donated $20. He says, esta donación es para el brother Katz, muy orgulloso de ver un peruano más luchar por sus sueños. Wish you the best, causas.
Muchas gracias.
Alright, well there you go. Thank you.
Axel Toss's last name is Rodriguez, but he's a disgrace. You're a disgrace to Spanish-speaking people.
Leave me alone, man.
Disgrace.
Leave me alone. $20 donation from Anonymous. He says, Kane is quite cute. He or she says, not sure. I'll get you that email address later, Kane.
I appreciate that message.
Says, make us some damn WCS champions. Donates $10. We'll see what happens. And the last one I see on the list is from Anonymous, who says, I encourage my boyfriend to play StarCraft rather than ban him from it. Not all girls are bitches. She donated $50. You're awesome, Darkest Black. Thank you for your donation.
Thank you.
And guys, continue to donate. Again, root-gaming.com. We're trying to reach 25K. We're at 20K. We're doing a great job. And again, any amount is awesome. So, next matchup. The Ognis, what do you want to talk about? What have you discovered in your play? Any tricks? How are you gonna win WCS NA? What do you got?
Hellbats, man.
Hellbats.
It's all about the Hellbats. Got some abusive builds now.
Yeah.
It's pretty legit. Alright, so I have a question for the Zergs.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Sick abuser. So I have a question for the Zergs. So, do you guys think mech is the way to go in TVZ?
I think
because I mentioned on State of the Game that I thought mech was kind of gimmicky. You either had to do early game damage with like Hellbat drops, or you're gonna have to like split the map in half. So I just wanted to kind of see like, you guys feel like mech is gonna have like a, I guess like a big stay in Heart of Swarm, kind of like in Wings of Liberty.
I think mech is complete shit against Zerg. Absolutely. There's no way that mech can work. Like you said, they have to kind of kill the Zerg early. That's pretty much it. I don't see a way that mech would work. And even in split map, which is the obvious thing to do with mech, Zerg has a better split map. So.
Yeah, well, I was just kind of thinking like split map, like kind of on Akalon Lace what Maru was doing, which was just Turtle into like BC Raven. Yeah,
but that still loses to... You see my ZVP, right?
What, Infestor Swarmhost?
Infestor Swarmhost, Viper, Mass, Static Defense.
All the OP units, yeah.
Yeah, mech stands no chance against it. You get
I think
Corruptors
we,
if they
I
have
think
enough
we experienced that firsthand in our 2v2 a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we did. That hurt. Thor Ghost is not an answer to that.
No, I thought nukes would be the answer to that, but I played against that the other day and it wasn't even close. Because even the nukes were not being cost efficient. I would just uproot my spores and spines, and every time he nukes, that's 100 minerals and 100 gas. So there's just no way. Plus the swarm host kill the ghosts afterwards. So the swarm host, I think that the Zerg in a split map scenario is by far the strongest race. Yeah. So
Even
no,
against like Skytoss?
I think Mecha shit. Yeah, Skytoss is easy.
Oh, what the hell? Damn, you're
But
like
there's
an
only
Zerg over there.
but there's only a couple maps that you can split. Having said that,
The thing about
Yeah.
mech is that you have to get ahead early, or else it won't work. Like
Yeah.
I feel like you have to either go Blue Flame Hellions or Hellbat drops, or get lucky with a Widowmine drop or something. But
yeah,
if you do get ahead early, like you could just kill them with bio easier, I think, than with mech.
yeah. If you get
Yeah.
ahead early with mech, you kind of have to bank on the fact that the Zerg will remake like 1,000 rounds and then do a push at either like something like 150 or when you're maxed, and you should win. But that's because you got an early advantage. So like Kane said, I think that advantage would be much better used with a bio follow up. Also,
Yeah.
like swarm hosts. Okay, tell me what beats this from a mech army, like prior to Sky Terran, right? Swarm host, infestors with neuroparasite.
Make 20 medevacs and doom drop my mech army. How about that?
I
It's a new
guess
metagame,
that works.
Yeah, no, I actually don't know what beats that. Like I like it, when I was doing mech, I would always try to add in like banshees or something to do with swarm host, but that was never, I guess, like a stable option against that.
Yeah, infestors are still okay against that. There's like queens around and whatever. Like you can get some hydras as well for DPSing until you can get vipers.
Hey, Cats, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So when you're going that Swarm Host Viper Infestor combination, and it's versus like Sky Terran or Sky Toss, what do you do when they have like Ghosts or High Templar to deny the energy on your Vipers?
That's
Or
what the
do they
Swarm
ever
Hosts are
get that
for.
close? Okay. Yeah.
So the whole point, like, this is the army composition that I figured as soon as the beta came out, right? I was like, okay, Viper, Infestors, Static Defense should be the best thing that a Zerg can do, right? It made a lot of sense to me. But then Ghosts and Templars can both sit in the front of the army and EMP or feedback your shit or snipe your Vipers. So that's a problem because if you get feedbacked, then you're trading cost inefficiently no matter what, right? So yeah, that's the role of the Swarm Host though, and the Infestors as well to some extent. If the Templars overcommit and get in front of their army, which is what they need to do to deny the Vipers, because they have the same range on feedback and abduct have the same range. So if you're not sitting in the front of your army, there's always something that I can pick off with abduct, right? What happened to the call? It's like dying. Fitzy here is on, but
I'm still here.
yeah.
Our webcams just went off or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, webcams went
'Cause
up
he
because
has the-
Axel Toss has the subscription thingy. Okay. So, but yeah, yeah, that's what the swarm hosts are there for. You want to get like fucking 15 to 20 of them, and then nothing, like there's no way that they can sit ground units in front of their army to deny the Vipers.
I'm really tired.
Lame. Okay. Well,
Pussy.
yeah.
Hey, I wanna play good tomorrow.
Okay. Let's talk about
beat
CVP
all the
maybe.
Koreans so Cats can qualify.
Oh, thanks. Okay, let's
Wait,
let's
so
talk
did
about
Toss
CVP
draw?
then real fast while we have Puck here.
What?
Let's talk about CVP real fast while you're
Oh.
here then.
I think once Zerg figure it out more, Protoss will eventually struggle, but right now Protoss is fine. And it's a pretty diverse matchup.
Yeah.
That's my initial opinion on it.
Yeah, I like CVP the most. I think it's the most diverse matchup, like you said. I don't know if anyone disagrees with that. It's the most fun to play for me.
I agree.
Like you can go
Except if you play Fitzy here, I don't like it.
just make queens.
Well, you can. I mean, Protoss can either open, Phoenix and
I'm not.
Colossus.
I'm not gonna lie. Of like all the Zergs there are, the ones I hate playing the most are all on this team.
Good. That's a good sign.
Actually, I take
We're
that
doing
back.
we're doing
There's
things right.
Sir Robin, I hate playing him too.
I've never played.
What does
him,
he do?
Maybe.
He proxy hatches your natural.
Sounds
And
like
then-
cats.
Yeah, he plays similar to you cats. He must watch you a lot.
Maybe. Okay, so here's a list of things that you can do in ZVP, and this is why I love this matchup. Like things that I do, like range from fucking one base swarm host to split the map and go for the late game. You can go for Hydra link timings, and then transition, which you could in Wings of Liberty, and then you can transition to Vipers if you want. If you're stuck on Hydra, you can go Roach Hydra into Vipers. You can go Swarm host Hydra into Vipers. You can go fucking 1/1 links into 2/2 and ultras fast. You can go mass queens into ultra with maybe infestors. You can pretty much use every single Zerg unit for different strats. Mutas are pretty popular as well. Corruptors, there to deal with Phoenixes as well. And from a Protoss perspective, it's pretty similar. Like you can open Gate first, or Nexus first, or Forge Fast Expand. You can go into timing attacks with any number of units at the start and have a mothership call for recall, which makes everything so much more diverse, especially if you're not going Nexus first. You can go for all the strong timings that you had in Wings of Liberty, only now they can be even stronger with the mothership core and having recall for safety, or having time warp to deny flanks and shit like that.
It's
It's
extremely diverse.
yeah, fucking you can go Phoenix, Oracles, Void Rays. I love CVP because you can do literally anything from both standpoints, and every unit has a place in it.
Well, and comparing
It's
to
really
Wings of Liberty-
easy. It's really easy, I feel, to get into macro play for both sides of it.
That too, yeah. Yeah, I really like that as well. Like Force Fields and Colossi will pretty much get you there, and Swarm Hosts are the element that lets Zerg get there now that we didn't have before, I feel.
And I think if we're comparing to Wings of Liberty, Hydras were literally like, if you win Hydras,
Turn
They
on
would
your
just go,
cameras
like,
again, guys. Theo and Sam. Go ahead, Fitzy.
if they tried to do an Immortal Sentry all in and they saw you go Hydras, they just back up, make Colossus, and attack you like 3 minutes later, and your Hydras were useless. But now you can tech the Vipers and actually like have a Roach Hydra composition or something.
Yeah.
Another thing is like if they try to go 8 gate or whatever, 6 gate, 7 whatever, and it hits a little bit late, or if they try to do an Immortal Sentry all in and you win for really fast swarm hosts and they don't have much detection, then
Yeah.
they have to back up.
Even
Like,
with
that
it,
was-
if you have enough Swarm Hosts to hold off one time, you're pretty much safe. And then
Yeah.
yeah. So it's really nice. Having said
Like,
that, it's hard to
wait,
get
were you talking-
Swarm Hosts in time for Immortal All-ins. And there are maps like Puck killed me.
You
and,
can't.
Go ahead.
You can't go swarm host to defend Immortal, and you'll die.
I think you
Like,
can depending on the map.
even
There's
if the
different
opponent,
timings with Immortal Sentry all in, though.
No,
like,
I
it-
think
it-
depending on the map, you can definitely do it, Puck. You remember that game that I like almost held, but you said the map it's impossible to hold Immortal in pretty much, unless the Protoss fucks up. Like I think that on other maps could be pretty valuable. Like I got sort of like enough Storm Hosts out, I feel, in time.
I don't know. I rarely lose. I haven't lost.
You can
Merciless.
also sacrifice your third and
Yeah.
and defend.
Actually,
your natural
actually had a
with
game
Storm
where
Hosts.
he went like, there was someone that went like 5 or 6 gate or something, and I had overdrone, but I was going for swarm hosts, and so I made enough spine crawlers to defend against his little thing while getting swarm hosts, and he didn't have the probe count, and so like I could push out and he had to back up, and then I just like retook my third while he was trying to get enough to get his
Here's-
economy going.
Can I explain why I think you can never go swarm host versus Immortal Sentry all in?
Yeah.
Because you have to like sack your third, no matter what. And the moment that Protoss sees that you're going Swarm Host, they just make an observer anyways, throw it on a Robo Bay, and they can push you into your natural and take out your natural, then just walk away. Take a third, just go double Colossus.
I don't think
And
it's
the-
that easy to take your natural though. The only reason you have to
It's-
sacrifice your third is because the swarm hosts are
Yeah,
out,
but
probably.
you have so many force fields, you can just like force field away everything.
Yeah, maybe.
You just
I mean,
kill that.
yeah, I'm not saying it's an easy hold, but I think it can be done. I don't know. We'll have to fuck around with it more.
Yeah.
Someone in chat has a question. The broodlords, the fuck. Someone should read that. The broodlords, How do you say broodlords?
Brood Lord.
Brood Lords.
Broodlord.
Broodlords?
The broodlord.
Brood
The broodlords.
Lords.
The broodlords.
Rodriguez.
The
Broodlords.
the broodlord's role is pretty shitty at the moment because it can't attack air, so pretty much useless in the late game. And if you try to rush for them, your opponents can go mobile compositions to counter them with medevacs. The fuck? Where can it be used? The question is pretty pretty horribly formulated because you list things that have always been impossible. Rush broodlords is not a thing. Never has been. Never will be. And
Is that safe
Yeah.
to say 9 out of 10 times Ultralisk
They
is
don't-
better than Broodlord?
what?
Is it safe to say 9 out of 10 times Ultralisk is better than Broodlord?
I don't know if that's true. Perhaps for CVP, but I think swarm hosts are better every time. I find broodlords to be shit in CVP unless you completely catch your opponent off guard. Which
Tempest
is,
3-shot Broodlords. So-
yeah, they 3-shot broodlords. So there's no way that you can make broodlords work against Protoss if Protoss knows they're coming. Like if Protoss sees you morphing a Greater Spire, you're dead if you're going broodlords. Now, go ahead.
The other thing is you can, like, Swarm Hosts, you can build them up over time. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
Broodlord's like, the Raider Spire's morphing, and you've got 10 Corruptors, and and you die.
Yeah,
Not
broodlords
necessarily
are
died,
usually
but-
like good for a switch. But, like I go broodlords when I already have a lot of static defense, and like I know that I'm losing army here and there, so I start making corruptors. Then fucking bam, 20 broodlords, and it's game over. You know, but at that point, I would probably win regardless. I don't know what there's a problem with the call or something. Axel Toss dropped again.
And I think the only other situation ZVP is, like, if they were going Sky Toss, and then they're like, oh god, he's got 20 Corruptors. Alright, I lost my fight, I'm done. And then you're like, okay, I'll just morph into Broodlords, and you're trying to go ground, you lose.
yeah. So that's about it. And in CVT they still have a place, and they're pretty good against mines. So
I think one thing that's like when it's like Phoenix versus Mutas, what some players have been doing is just burrowing infestors, and once the Phoenix get like close to them, they just put them up and just fungal them all and just kill them all.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Something you could all do.
Yeah, again, that sounds gimmicky, but it's really not. I mean, an observer with your Phoenix army is always gonna lag way behind. So
Well, the thing is infestors have tremendous range now, so it's like it's really hard to detect them to begin with.
yeah,
Because you
Okay.
can hide them so far away. And you just keep an overseer with your army the whole time, or your Mutalisk, and there's no way Protoss will know where they're at.
faux shizzle. Is Axolotl still dead? He's still dead. Well, that's not good.
Is it just me and you now, Cats?
No.
No.
Everyone's
Oh.
here. Theo's
Yeah.
just quiet per usual.
Oh man,
Oh,
waiting
there's
for
that.
the Terran discussion.
Well,
My
bring
God.
it up, bitch.
I'm ready to pounce, bro. I'm ready to pounce.
But
Pound then.
I should probably go before I get started with PvT, because
Why don't
I
you
don't want
two
to
talk
rant.
about PvT for a little bit?
I kind of want to get Chad and Chad and Teach want to like go
I
into
don't
each
know.
other's throats in our chat right now.
Bring him
Theo
in,
might
then.
hate me. Theo might hate me if we
Oh,
start
dude, I
talking
don't
about
hate. I
PvT.
don't hate. Protoss is overpowered. Everyone knows it.
No.
Chat and TT1.
Other way
Join the
around.
call.
Abusive race, man.
Look at top 16, and then
Dude, no. The Protoss metagame is like from Wings of Liberty. That's my excuse for it.
Metal Mines, Medivacs, Elbats, pretty good. Pretty good.
All right.
This is the worst discussion
Nice
I've ever heard. Nice discussion. You win.
You would.
So it's actually, are you guys agreeing that PvT is in favor of Terran?
No, dude. Hell no.
Totally. It's
No
totally
way, man.
overpowered.
All right,
No way.
Puck, what's your favorite opening against Terran?
Not dying.
Not dying.
Yo, agree.
Not dying.
Sam and Theo, turn on your webcams again. It's kind
Wait, mine's on, right?
My internet is being really weird, so forgive
Yeah,
me.
mine's too. I need Druby, man. I need some backup.
Druby's your tech backup?
Yeah, he's my Terran backup, man.
Oh, you're a Terran backup.
Protoss.
Where is he?
So, Puck, do you have any pressure openings, or do you generally just like get sentries out of Robo or whatever and tech up and just try not to die?
I don't know. I like blink opening, but then they just make little mines and they just camp my base and I die. There's
Wait,
nothing
what?
against
Going
it.
blink? And
Blink
then camp in your face?
I don't open blink versus you because you're like the sickest abuser ever. Like, you just mass
First, man.
Mass
CC first.
man centers.
CC
You go
first,
like
man.
3 CC before anything, and Protoss can't do anything to punish it.
That's a good build,
And
man.
then you just mass Hellbats and ghosts and other abusive things.
Well, yeah. Well, I go Hellbats because you're going charge. Or, yeah, Zealot.
Yeah, but then, like, if I was going for Templar tech or Colossus tech, then I don't know.
No,
I feel
I
fucked.
think the Colossus tech is always a better opening, in my opinion.
Over Templar?
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like going
like
tech
Templar
is
is
hard to build up upgrades with, and it's like not as good. I don't know.
What? You can
I
open.
love going my double upgrades.
You can go double upgrades while going Colossus again.
I don't know.
I thought that was
I just don't
pretty
think it's as good.
Yeah, I think you can, because Mothership Core.
Yeah.
You-
I mean, that's
We always
pretty
could.
much
It's just not as
It's
good.
Liberty.
You go charge on Archon,
Mm.
Storm.
Mothership Core seems pretty good. What I like about PvT, if I have anything to say about it, is that it seems like, you know, it leads more to macro games more often than not. And it's I
Oh
really
no,
like
yeah, definitely.
I really
Yeah,
like
you
how the
can't
Mothership
base
Core
all rooms
works.
anymore as Terran.
Yeah,
Protoss elements,
Just get spread that out.
Protoss elements, Terran are pretty bad.
yeah, and I would say
Yes.
Terran, any sort of Terran pressure is pretty bad as well. For the
No,
most part.
Terran pressure is pretty strong.
But it's not as strong, the Mothership
The
Core,
thing-
like the overcharge.
Yeah, but you won't always have that. Like, it's really easy to get sniped, and sometimes you want to use it for other things, and like once you're out of energy, and they just pressure you,
Well, I don't
They-
think you should
their
use it
army
for other
and-
things then.
they kill you. They drop
Just
Widow-
like, I think just scouting with the Mothership Core, like right when it pops out, and then just going back to your base and then sitting between your natural and main is probably the best way of using it.
Yeah.
I don't think bringing up your army and doing time warps is very good unless you're doing all in.
Yeah, but sometimes you'd be able to recall to protect against drops, mass drops.
Yeah,
Maybe,
guess
I don't
so.
know. I see you be very active with the Mothership Core, Puck. Like, you always throw time warps on mineral lines and shit like that, which is nice. I'm just
I
not
like being
sure.
aggressive.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. I think Mothership
No,
Core
I
has.
think being defensive with it's way better, but
Yeah,
like even then, the DPS from the mothership, whatever, the Nexus, what you call it, planetary
Planetary.
Nexus,
Photon overcharge.
isn't the greatest first bio. Like, yeah, it will
Yeah.
kill some units, but the DPS from the bio itself is so high that it won't matter. Terran will do their damage and get out anyways. So unless
Well,
they can, so you have to be prepared with units to begin with. Like, you still need to split to deal with it pretty efficiently, because they'll still snipe all the tech that they want if you just depend on the mothership core. You can't just depend on that.
Well, no, I think it's just good like really early game defense because you can't do any
no.
you can't do any like
good.
stim timings or marine
Yeah.
poke or
I
anything.
completely agree, but little minds, like, you always have to go early detection now as Protoss. If you don't have detection against Terran and they just Widow Mine drop you, you're pretty dead. Like, the game's over like that. And like,
I mean, I think there's always ways around it. Like you could do like a quick like hallucination or something, and then build a cannon in your main. If you're going like 2 forwards
you
really
can build a
early.
cannon in your main, but the cannon doesn't
Well, I
cover
think
the
there's,
whole
like,
area.
I'm not exactly sure of
And,
like
like,
the
you don't exactly want
So-
the cannon in the middle of your mineral line, disrupting mining like that to begin with.
why not? I think wasn't Kiwikaki, I think, and Succeed were doing that a bunch, weren't they? Were you, Dennis? Dennis. Do you put cannons in your mineral line against Terran or not anymore? One sometimes.
Like, I still do that. Like, I've tried that plenty of times. It just doesn't work against medevac speed with Widow Mine drops. And, like, if you look away for a second, like, say you're engaging and Terran has a shift queued medevac, if you're not paying attention for 1 second, you're pretty dead as well.
Welcome
Wait, you lose
our
to like
world.
big game Widow Mine drops? I haven't really seen
What?
that too much. You're losing to like mid game Widow Mine drops, not really like early game stuff?
No. I'm just saying, like, say a Terran does that, like, sometimes they will do that. You lose the whole mineral line. Like, Protoss has the hardest time catching up in PvT if they fall behind, whereas if Protoss does a ton of damage, Terran can still easily come back, just due to how much harassment they can do.
Mm.
Just like what you saw with, like, Dennis versus Apoc. It was 20 to 80 supply. Clearly, Dennis should have won, but it's really easy for Terran to come back in the game.
I actually didn't see that game, I don't think.
Yeah, it was 20 to 80 supply.
Oh, what the heck? Wait, who is this again?
APOC.
Oh, APOC, okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Dennis
kinda weird,
basically, well, it was a base race, so Dennis had to kind of stay and guard his base, and APOC kept 3 orbital commands and all of their barracks
literally-
alive.
He had no SCVs. Like, he started at 0 SCVs. He remade some. I mean, was able to catch up. Well, Succeed still had a full saturated base. Essentially.
Well, not mining, he was taking it, and then, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but that was, yeah.
it was like still like by the time it got done, APOC still only had like 5 SCVs.
Yeah, but 3 orbital commands full on energy at that point because, you know,
To be honest-
they were floating.
To be honest, Dennis really fucked up that game.
Oh,
but-
absolutely. Like he needed like Phoenix's hallucinated Phoenix all over the place, and maybe a probe at each base. Just make sure he didn't mine, and he won.
He was just kind of being. No offense to you, Dennis, but you're kind of being lazy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said too. Like it was pretty funny when he was playing. I was like just like opsing the game, and I see him there, and he's like all comfortable, thinking he won. I'm like, please fucking scout this. I couldn't tell him obviously, but I was like, fucking please just do something. And like as he found the bases, but when they were already even in supply, he would just go like, fuck. And then he would find another base, and he would be like, fuck.
I was honestly kind of sad.
Yeah, me too.
I was really sad.
All right,
Yeah,
so
you
I
have
want
the
to
string
talk
thing
about
over the cameras.
What?
what's
You have the the fundraiser amounts over the cameras.
Oh shit, my bad.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay, what?
Thank you, Rob.
Well, Alex.
I want to talk about mid-game PBT. From a Protoss perspective, medevacs obviously were the big story in the beginning of Heart of the Swarm. Are they a little bit easier to deal with as far as the drops are concerned? Do you add cannon as Protoss? Do you add a couple cannons? Do you have to have a High Templar always back home? A few stalkers?
Have to have. I don't even think cannons are that viable because they just medevac boost past them. You literally have to have like Stalker Templar. And like, if they fake you out, pretending to drop you and make you split your army, then just medevac boost back to their main army and attack you, you're pretty dead.
Are
If
you
you're on
making
3
observers? Are you making more observers PBT than Wings Liberty necessarily?
You have to. You have to. I think that's the reason why I sometimes lose some games, because I like going double forge, charge a Archon Storm, and getting a late Robo Colossus, but...
Theognis, what kind of keeps your drops from happening? What are Protoss doing against you that kind of shuts down your drop play?
I don't know. Yeah, just good positioning. I don't necessarily think you need Stalker Templar. I
Yes.
think just Stalker Zealot's fine with maybe like a cannon.
No.
Well, I mean,
You
like
like,
if they do anything
the
more
thing-
than like 4 or 5 medevacs, then you need to like cut off a big chunk of your army to defend that.
That happens a lot more now than you think. Like, 4 to
Oh no,
5
yeah, I do
medevacs,
it every
it's-
single game.
Yeah, it's like every single game. Like, if you play Poet beyond any
Yeah.
Korean, they're always doom dropping you, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Like, they'll get in, do the damage they need, get out, rejoin with their main army, and then kill you.
Now,
It's like,
go ahead. Sorry.
oh, like, there's so many times I've actually been ahead of Polt. Like, there's so many times where I should have beat him, like, maybe 2 or 3 games all the past week. I probably played him, like, 6 times. But he just ended up being able to doom drop, snipe observers, and just catch up just like that. And there's nothing I could do. He's really good, though, too, so it's like I'm not on his level quite yet, but...
Is this a map thing too? I mean, I would like to talk about.
I mean,
that.
some maps are a lot easier than others. Like, if you go on Whirlwind, I don't think Protoss should really be able to win on that map versus Terran. Just because of the third and the main, or like the natural and the third, it's really hard to defend.
Yeah, I think any maps where like the third, it's like right next to the main, like airspace, but it's really far
PvT.
ground distance. I think it's hard,
PvT
especially on
is
like
really
Aqua.
map dependent.
Yeah, like I think
I
like maps like
actually
Aqua.
Because I'm with MLG or whatever, and like, you know, I try to help figure out the map pool, like what's optimal for players at the competitive level, what needs to be there, etc. I want to talk about that a little bit, but first I want to go through some of the recent donations we've had. So I want you all to think about maybe your favorite maps that you can't stand, maps that, you know, do we need more map makers? What do they need to be focusing on? So while y'all are thinking about that, I want to name some of these donations that have been coming through. Again, guys, we're having a donation drive here. root-gaming.com. Check it out. Read more information about it. Any amount truly helps. And if you donate $10 or more, you not only get a replay pack involving a little bit over 500 replays from Root Gaming players, but you can also have the option to write a message to be read on stream. And right now I'm going to read through some of those. From Flatline SC2, donated $10. He said, shoutouts to my Sammy and Theo. Get Theo in a banana suit on stream, please. We'll see what we can do. Thank you. Flatline SC2. Noah Blyer donated $10. He says, thank you. Thanks for everything you do, guys. Cats is an inspiration, and you guys all rock. Thank you, Noah Blyer, for your $10 donation. Anonymous donated $10.68. He says, tongue twister time. The 6 shikes, 6 sheep's sick. Big fan of Rufus. Good luck to you all. That was a motorcycle. That was a motorcycle that literally just drove through my apartment. Alright. We got Anonymous donating $20. He says, 2 cats in Root Gaming. Y'all. Also, congrats to King.
So
I like you, Anonymous. You know your grammar. Well played. Well done, good sir. Memic4 donated $20. He says, good luck, Root. And Cats, can you please cast Pro League tonight?
Yeah, we're considering that. TT1 brought it up, so we might do a Pro League cast. Obviously, we can't show Pro League on stream, but we can have the overlay up, and you guys can open Pro League, and we'll do the same and cast it for you.
You guys make sure you stay rested for... Cats, at least, stay rested for your matches tomorrow.
Oh, that's true.
I'm gonna come
fall
forward,
asleep. Yeah.
put my foot down a little bit on that. Mimi C4 donated $20. He says, good luck, Root. Oh, I just said that one. Alright. Willie Mao donated $22.22. He says, Root for Root. Shout out to everyone on Root, but especially to Alex and Theo. Met you guys and drove you around last year at my school during the Gigabyte tournament. Come down and let's grab In and Out again. Theo, you remember that?
Oh, good man.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
I actually do remember.
So is this true that 25,000 if we hit it before the stream ends, Kane will remove his leg and show it on stream?
I think that was suggested by Kane himself not too long ago, actually.
I could do that.
Sick.
And we're currently at $20,000 and, or excuse me, $20,261.47, guys. Root-gaming.com donations. Harkrath donated $55.55. He says, Gigamags, y'all. GLHF Root. So you see, everyone's on my side, Cats. Everyone's
I guess
on my
so.
Thanks
Y'all
for the donation.
are on Axel Toss's side.
Thanks for the donation, Harkrath. Cool Shades donates $10. He says nothing. But I, Root Axel Toss, stays up at night touching myself, thinking you cats. I don't know what that means, but I think I'm obligated contractually to read all of these comments. Anonymous donated $20. He says, "You are awesome."
They're towing your house right now, Alex. Your trailer.
Alex, what? Is there something wrong with your mic?
How loud is it? Is it really loud?
It's like gets fuzzy all like nowhere.
All right, test 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Your
five.
camera is also frozen, but yeah.
Can y'all hear the comments I'm saying?
Yes, we can hear you, and we can hear the truck that's towing your trailer right now.
Alex, someone just wrote in chat, if we get 25,000, will you eat another bowl of mustard?
Why does it always come back to that?
I'm not sure.
Because you agreed to something where you got no benefit from it. Literally.
Why can't I eat like
did
pizza? Or like pudding? I like pudding. Should I close my window?
Okay.
You probably should.
You should eat
Okay.
a
I'll be right
bowl
back.
of pudding and mustard. So,
It's hot in here, man. I just wanted some cool air to come in. Alright, can I continue with these? What's up? What's up?
if we hit 25k, you can eat a bowl of pudding with mustard.
Oh, that's sick,
Mustard.
yeah.
The mustard being the pudding.
That's sick.
Puck, why don't you eat the bowl of mustard?
How about you eat like a raw onion or something?
I don't even own mustard.
Yeah, how about
We'll
a
talk
raw?
about this
How
later.
about an
Anonymous
onion?
donated $10. She says, Root deserves everything they get. Katz is an amazing manager and is doing things for the right reasons.
Thank you.
The next Anonymous says, shout out to all of you guys. Root is my favorite team, my new favorite team. Keep doing what you love and never stop. Also, congrats to Kane. You donated $10. Thank you for your donation, Anonymous. SC2 Bright donated $10. She says, good luck with the house. Caliber, best, Ginger, NA. That's true.
Yes, yeah. Without a doubt, I think.
Agreed.
Cabose TV donated $10.69. He says, hey dudes, GL with the house. Hope you find somewhere in the Bay Area. I loved living there. Thank you for the donation. You got me. The $10 donation from him. Looking forward to see Team House content. Anonymous donated $10. He says guacamole.
Guacamole.
Optic 678 donated $20. I need a bowl of guacamole. That's what I would do. Optic 678 donated $20. He says, I love your content and watch most of it on the day it comes out. More replay analysis and good luck. And we are caught up. So
Awesome.
thank you guys for donating so much. We're getting so close to our goal. And Puck is going to eat a bowl of mustard if we get there by the end of the stream. Yes.
Awkward silence. Okay, so what else do you guys want to talk right now? Is there anything we're missing? Anything that you want
Well,
to?
I had a map
Easy.
question. So, are there any maps you guys absolutely hate? Any maps? You guys love? What's the ideal map pool for you guys? And
Get rid
gonna-
of Planet S.
I'm gonna go tell MLG about this. So seriously,
Get rid of Planet S.
I don't like.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad map.
this. Yeah. I don't, yeah.
The third
that's-
is just way too far, and then like it's impossible to take your fourth.
The
Well,
only
not
thing I
impossible,
like
but it's
about
very
Planet
hard.
S is that it creates options. Like you gotta play different on that map than on other maps. But having said that, I just don't like.
Protoss kind of has to all in on that map, both matchup or every matchup.
Yeah, and even then, like
Yeah.
every unit for Zerg kind of becomes a mutalisk in against Protoss, in the sense that once Protoss commits to an all-in, Zerg can just counterattack and base raise every time, and there's no way that Protoss can stop that
Hey.
for the most part. You have to like split your army perfectly and hope that you have like enough on both fronts.
I really like the idea of the map, but it's just like too small, and yeah, the third's really fucked.
Yeah, in terms of ladder maps, there is a worse ladder map than that. Coral City, I think it's called.
Which
Yeah,
one is that?
Yeah, that's definitely the worst out of all of them.
Is
Yeah.
that the one with your natural?
I don't think it'd be so bad if it was like
Yeah.
cross spawn, but
It's terrible. I mean, CVZ on it. The only thing that you can go is for Baneling busts, which I don't mind too much. Like, if you try to hatch first or anything like that, you're pretty much dead. And then CB anything else, the Terran and Protoss get a free base, so it's kind of lame. I don't know. It's just a ship map. It's pretty bad. If there was another entrance, perhaps to the main, it would be okay. Like to the main and expo. But yeah, that map's pretty bad.
Yeah, I just think like the center is kind of too wide open too.
That too, yeah.
It's just kind of like boring, in my opinion. I'm not like a big fan of it as well.
Yeah, like taking anything past the four bases is pretty hard for every race.
Yeah.
So we agree on those two maps. I'm not a
Wait,
big fan
you
of
said Neoplanet S and
Coral City, I think it's called.
Is that the one that produced the? Is it the split map one? No, that's New Creek City.
New Creek City.
Coral City. Oh, Coral City is the 4-player one with the big ramps.
Yes.
Yeah, screw that one. What do y'all think about New Creek City?
I like the GSL version better with the extra path, but not the Pro League. It is, I think.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the extra path?
It's right below the watchtower. Makes it a
The
little bit
fourth is
harder
more
to split. A
vulnerable
little
as well.
bit like, yeah, the fourth is more vulnerable. It's a little bit easier or a little bit harder to split, which is also kind of annoying for every race for the most part, and makes for uninteresting games for the most part. And almost always more attack paths is always better, I think. There's too much airspace otherwise on that map on the bottom half and not too much in the top half. It's just a little bit awkward, but I like it overall.
Someone just donated $1,000, by the way.
Woohoo! Who?
Nice.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Thank you so
Shout
much.
You donated.
It was Tall 1983.
Okay, Toll.
Good year.
Yeah, he's been adding on to his donation for a while. He's Brian Greenwood, and he's a good friend and a student of mine. So thank you very much, Brian. I love you.
We're getting close, guys.
Yep.
We're very close, very, very, very close. And guys, root-gaming.com. If you feel like you have a little bit of extra money you want to put towards the Root movement, encourage you to do that now.
Ooh. Yeah, 4-player maps suck. Because it only benefits Zerg and Terran.
And I want to fix that.
What? I don't think it benefits
Because-
Terran 4-player maps.
Yeah, but
I think it's like harder
It's
for Terran
nice-
to like scout kind of cheesy
it's nice
stuff.
to see
like,
if Terran goes gas.
Why is that?
Because we need to know if we need to go early detection or not.
Well, that's kind of the same for Terran as well. Like we don't know if you're going DT or Oracle, so it's just like
yeah,
harder to
but
scout.
Terran can scout until like 5 minutes in the game. And if they really need to scout, they can just scan. Where Protoss has until
like, you can hide
309.
pylon.
And then Protoss can't scout again until like 6 minutes if they make a mothership core.
I don't know. I think it's just like tougher to scout like for either side of the matchup. Yeah, like I
actually, I'm just saying what Pyam said, but he told me he hates 4-player maps, and I just
Yeah. I'm not a big-
reasoning.
Dude, Pyam's talking in Skype. He's not even in this call.
Yeah,
he can.
oh.
We don't have to acknowledge him at all unless he wants to come in here, which he's welcome to. Jeez. All right. Who's been quiet for a while? Fitzy, give me your favorite maps and least favorite maps.
Yeah, I mean, Core Hall is definitely my least favorite. The S map, it's small, and then it's like you can counterattack the other way, like Katz was saying. I find it even in ZVZ, it's like your lings go one way, and you see their lings go one way, and it's like, okay, do I call his bluff and keep going?
That's
Or
awesome.
do I turn around? Do I have banelings at home? Like, it really is he going to turn around? Because and person defending then is at a disadvantage most of the time? I don't know. But I find it very counterattack-ish, and you can't really, like, take... I don't know. It's an awkward map. And I think it's actually because if they rotated the way the entrance is into the lower area, just a little bit one way or the other, then it could make it so you could cut across easier. But since the entrances are like, what is it? You know how the entrances are perpendicular to your bases, pretty much. if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like the entrance is the low ground. So if you turned it one way or the other, even you could start to go one path and then cut over to the other side.
Hmm.
I don't know. It would make it a little bit easier to not like have that counterattack type of thing. But yeah, definitely core hall sucks because I'm gonna get 4 base and then we're gonna go for 20 minutes and then I'll move all my stuff to the other 4 base. Yeah, it's kind of boring and like there's no way to access it. Like they can just Terran can turtle super hard, Protoss can turtle kind of sorta, but then if you try to take past 4 base, there's just war prisms, pylons, DTs, whatever, and you have to invest so much in defending it that I don't know, it's so far away. Star Station, it's kind of there's enough open space that drops.
I like Star Station. I don't know. I had a Dito before, but I don't anymore.
I'm off and on with it because it has enough open space that it can be annoying for drops, but at the same time, I don't know. The bases are easy enough to naturally expand in some direction and get your 3rd, get your 4th progressively. But I find that it can just, since it's so, I don't know, it's so wide open, and then it also, once again in the middle, there's that stuff that you have to like walk around. I don't know. Not a big fan of that one.
I feel like a lot of Protoss players feel like there's just too much open space outside the 3rd.
Yeah.
Of Star Station, as far as like trying to defend against the scary Terran stuff. Actually defending the 3rd against Terran, they find pretty tough. I don't know, Puck, if you wanted to touch on that at all. About your thoughts as a map.
I honestly love the map, except
Oh wow.
I hate that there's close spawn. So
Okay,
I love
sure.
blink play. I love blink play, and it's really good for blink. And that's why I
Yeah,
love
that's
it.
like the best blink all in for sure.
It's really good for Reapers as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, in TVT everyone's going like 2 or 3 racks Reaper on it. It's kind of difficult to stop. You kind of have to choose builds just like anti-Reaper.
Yeah.
The only
then
thing I
people-
hate about... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Theo.
Well, I was just saying like you kind of have to metagame the Reaper build, and then people metagame you metagaming the Reaper build. It's pretty fun on.
How
The only
like
thing I hate
fast
about the map
factory?
Is
But
all
yeah,
the,
like fast factory, just Hellion based play. Marine Hellion medevac's really good against like Mass Reaper.
The only thing I hate about the map is like all the open airspace.
Easy.
Easy. Alright, so Star Station, what have we not touched on? Whirlwind? Have we touched on
Whirlwind,
Not big on it.
It's-
It's too big.
it's
Yeah.
terrible for PvT. It's too good for Terran.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of forced into the Muta styles as a Zerg and Whirlwind, and I'm not big on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I
think
kind of like.
otherwise too. Like if, let's say, the Terran opens with an 888, but there's no way for you to scout it in time or whatever. I mean, you could just go blindly pull first, but then what if they just go command center first, and then I don't know.
Yeah, Whirlwind's weird, but I think a little bit of tweaking it would be pretty good. Like if they removed 2 of the bases and made it a 1v1 map, it would be pretty good for the most part. So I don't know.
I think it wouldn't be that bad of a map if it was cross spawn as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Protoss can't go Nexus first, right? And if Protoss goes Terran last, and Protoss finds out that Terran went Nexus or CC first, then Protoss is really far behind, depending on the Protoss's original opening.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Terrans that open CC first. It's easy.
Yeah.
I
Easy.
hate that, and I hate that build. I'm scared of that shit. I hope no one
That's-
finds out about it. Just like the
That's
Mass
all you
Reaper.
do is CC first.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
That's what I do
CC
on ladder.
first a
That's what I
lot.
do on ladder. I only
Yeah.
bust out the 2 racks in tournaments.
Easy.
I'm gonna start 2-gating you every game.
I do.
But
I love it,
2-gate
I love
sucks
the
versus
games.
Terran also.
Okay, what else, Alex?
trying to think. I'm trying to think of any other maps that I'm not mentioning.
Akalon Wastes.
Aklon Wastes.
I love.
I feel like general consensus. No one really has too many problems with that map. Though the
I think
only
it's the
only
most-
feat. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think it's the most balanced map right now in the pool.
Perhaps.
First Terran,
Yeah.
it's definitely hard to get a fifth, in my opinion.
Yeah, the fifth is an issue, I think.
It's and the Terran can kind of not necessarily easily take their fifth, but I feel like they can take it easier than the Zerg.
Yeah, the fifth on maps like that, and basically non-split maps. Like that's why I like Daybreak and like Newkirk Precinct or Newkirk City so much. It's like the fifth is rather easy to take, so it opens up more possibilities for Zerg other than just going mutiling Baneling every game.
But here's my thought on that. A lot of games don't get to the fifth base anyways, and if you do get to the fifth base, your third's already mining out, so you're going to be split map anyways in a different direction.
On Ackland Wastes,
Mm-hmm.
sort of.
And like, no one wants to do a direct engagement unless they know they're going to have
you're talking from a
gonna
Protoss
open.
perspective. Like a Zerg would usually like to take the fifth a little bit earlier, I think.
It's sort of true, I guess.
Yeah, and CVT like with Medevacs, it's pretty hard to take
Well-
the fifth on maps like that.
But
And there's
if you
there's enough open space that you can't defend every spot. Like you can put as much defense as you want, but they can just come from a different angle and you like kill your hatch really quick.
Yeah.
I feel like
so-
on that map TVZ, it's kind of hard to attack. Like, where do you attack in TVZ? Because it leaves you really wide open to counterattacks, and like some of the bases are really far away from where you're staging your attacks, like out near your third.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta PF your fifth as a Terran for sure. And
Oh,
Well, yeah, I'm
you're-
just talking about like off of three bases. Like, you know how like when you're on three bases and you're doing your 2-2 timing, you're basically just trying to take out their fourth. Like, it's really hard to
Oh, right.
push to the. It's kind of far away. It's hard to reinforce.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a proper way to play it though. I think you should just deny a fifth and go for the max
Nice.
army.
Alright. I see. I guess I'll try
Yeah,
that.
I definitely think 4 base is easy enough to take because, I mean, the one has a gigantic choke point where the destructible rocks are, and the other one has an open third the natural going in third is really wide open.
Yeah.
So
it's really easy to play macro on the map until like they late game, so that's how I feel on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like awkward once like everyone's maxed, then it's just awkward. It's like, okay, if you want to attack my base, I'll attack yours, and no one will ever expand.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
The
good.
Daybreak's just
Yeah, no, so
Totally.
that's an interesting point as far as like old maps versus new maps. I know you might like the old maps a little bit better because you're more familiar with them, but from a spectator perspective, I'm not sure if people in the chat would agree. As a caster, I really like seeing how play kind of evolves on their maps, and I'm wondering, like, from a player's perspective, do y'all enjoy the newness as well, or are you gonna, if you have a choice between, let's say, a new map like an Akalon Wastes and a map that you're 100% used to, like a Daybreak, which one are you going to choose?
I'm kind of like tired of the old maps, to be honest. Like, I would be pretty happy if I never saw Daybreak again. I
Yeah.
just played some games on that.
I personally love Daybreak, but I think that you can make new maps without without going too far away from what we know works, sort of. Obviously, you can also balance through maps, but sometimes the maps are limiting in the number of strategies that you can do as a certain race, and that's where I don't like a map or something like that. Like I said, like for example in Whirlwind, I feel like against Terran, I'm forced into mutiling Baneling or I'll just die to bio. Right? That's the kind of situation that I don't like to be in. Kane might enjoy that more because he plays more standard and like he'll probably do the same shit on every map. But
I just want to say that for Zerg on Daybreak, I feel Zerg should never win on Daybreak. It's just a really bad map for Zerg now. Just
why?
because of Broodlords are not really that effective as they used to be. And the thing about Daybreak is that it's always been a good map for Broodlords. Like, if you got to Broodlords, Zerg almost never lost, but if like it was before that, like Zerg's always been on the defensive.
What do you mean against Protoss?
Mm-hmm. Mostly
But
Protoss.
it's impossible for Protoss to win late game against my composition on Daybreak.
Are you sure about that? Because like, there's 3 different pathways. Like, you always have to pick one with your brood or swarm hosts.
The thing is,
And,
once
like,
once you move out of the middle of the map, your middle base dies to swarm host, and you can always send the locust to where the army is going. So you're always kind of committed, whatever path you choose, and you can put mass static defense in all of it. Like
yeah, I guess that's kind of true. I don't know.
yeah, I feel like Protoss is at a huge disadvantage against Zerg in the late game on that map.
Well, because you're defending and attacking at the same time. Like you can.
Yeah, with swarm hosts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
pretty-
general consensus is, we're open to the new maps.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What last question on this topic? What do y'all think of the new maps that's happening in Pro League? Like there's that island one, I think.
Oh, that was
Um,
imba as hell.
Yeah. Pro League,
But
Pro
I
League
actually like
maps,
it. It's just like fun.
Or
Yeah,
Nauru
there's-
Station. Have y'all seen Nauru Station too? I kind of like Nauru Station.
There's
Or-
I
there's
don't really.
there's a huge misconception with Pro League maps and balance of them, because Pro League maps don't have to be balanced at all. You could put any map that you want in Pro League and it will work, because you know exactly what player and what race you're sending on it. So it's on the teams to figure out what race is best on the map. And so we see that certain maps are always PvP, and there's not a problem with that. You just know it's going to be a PvP, because if you send anything but a Protoss, they will lose. So I think talking balance and using Pro League maps as any sort of indicator of anything is just plain out wrong. There's just, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty bad for balance. I'm not gonna lie. Like the one map that had like all the rocks on it, like the first season of World League, that was just terrible.
Yeah, and it's a huge misconception that people people often think, oh shit, it's fucking shoot. It's Pro League, it's probably as high as the level gets there, so it must be balanced, or it must be that they must know what they're doing, and they absolutely know what they're doing. They're just not trying to balance it, because there's no point in it.
If you're to follow balance, I go by GSL map always.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have chat open on Skype, by the way.
Yeah,
All right. I think I want to take a quick break. We've been going for 2 hours. I think we have an hour left on the stream. I want to read out some of the recent submissions of donations. Again, guys, we're running a donation drive of sorts here, fundraiser for a Root Gaming House in the United States. Root-gaming.com. Check it out. Read about what the money is going towards, and decide if you have some extra change to put forth. We're trying to hit 25K, and we're officially at an hour remaining in our 24-hour live stream. So please, if you have some extra cash to spare, we would really appreciate it if you can donate. And that being said, Rob, did we want to reserve a block here for commercials or something like that?
I can run a commercial block.
Yeah, we could do
Okay.
that.
I think that'd be a good idea. So let's run a commercial block, and then once we get back from commercial, I'll start reading off some of these recent donations, and then I will, and then we can proceed with. I think I want to get into WCS talk, and maybe Katz, if you have anything else you wanted to talk about, by all means.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what to do after this. I think we can cast Pro League if anyone's down to cast that with me. And we might go a little bit over 24 hours, just because I can right now. So,
Sure.
but yeah, Kane will remove his leg and show it at the 24-hour mark if we reach the 25.
If we meet our goal, yeah.
Is Stefano's signature still on it?
No, it wore off pretty quickly, and plus I got a new one, so.
All right.
Go.
So I'm assuming commercials are being played.
Kane, do you
Yeah.
know that I used to think you were Scarlett's brother at one point? Where he looked like he could have been?
Why?
I don't know, he just kind of looked like he could
That
be
makes-
Scarlett's brother. I'm just saying.
That makes no sense.
That makes sense.
I don't see the resemblance.
This how
See
like
any-
I see the resemblance in gameplay, and also um,
It
the
makes everyone
fact that I think Scarlett said that she wanted to get good at the game to beat her brother.
Really?
Yeah.
oh,
Ah.
Yeah, it's like her
didn't even
first
know she had a
interview
brother.
ever.
Wow.
so I could give him shit for looking like Destiny and Tubby the Fact Find.
I gotta make trades before Pro League starts. I forgot about that.
Oh,
Noob.
it's starting in 15 minutes. I see.
God damn it. Alright. Keep playing those commercials.
Okay, this keeps bugging out.
Wait,
So
who's
I
playing
blew-
tonight? Probably.
Let's see.
Any good Terran games tonight?
We got EGTL actually against SKT starting right now.
Oh,
Pretty
that's
soon.
sick.
Who's playing in that?
Parting versus Alive, first match. And then Brown versus Tejo.
Oh, there's only 2 Zergs and it's a ZVZ.
It's ZVZ as well. It's 2 versus Jadong.
Lame.
That's fun.
Lime. So
By the way, welcome Juby and Vibe, I think. And TT1.
she won't hang up right away.
He's too
God damn
shy.
it.
Bye. Woo! Make
I've
it
been
to
in here
the
for like
lodge.
I've been in here for like 3 hours.
No, I saw exactly when you
Yes,
joined
sir.
it. It was 14 minutes ago, so don't bullshit me.
Make it to the
Alright,
lodge.
Since Vibe's here, I'm gonna go to bed so I can play well tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes. Good luck tomorrow,
Cats.
my friend.
Cats. I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too.
Okay.
I'll miss
I
you.
can
Everyone
stick
else,
around.
I don't really care. So,
I'll-
bye.
I'll
Bye.
I miss
Yeah.
joking. I'll miss you all.
What?
What? What? Where'd Juby go?
I don't know.
He's,
I don't know.
You caught him.